Hello, Michael. Today we have a question that says, I've heard you say that we have to keep the ego in check. Since our very waking in the morning, we just allow the ego to rise. So in which way are we going to keep the ego in check? Do you mean just being self-attentive as much as we can at any given moment? On the other hand, is it more effective or potentially more powerful to be self-attentive when we face a challenge in life, no matter how small it is?
Keeping the ego in check means that is we have risen as ego. The more we attend to anything other than ourselves, the more we are giving a free rein to ego to go out and go wherever it's inclined to go. Keeping the ego in check, yes, as you say, being self-attentive is keeping the ego in check. To the extent to which we attend to us, to the extent that we are self-attentive, we are thereby curbing the rising of ego. If we are exclusively self-attentive, that is, if our self-attentiveness is so keen, but we give rise to room to the rising of no other thought, then ego will subside back into its source. But even before even when we're not able to attend to ourselves so keenly, to the extent that we attend to ourselves, to the extent that we are self-attentive, to that extent, ego is restrained or curbed. So keeping the ego in check means reducing its outward going activity. So how to reduce its outward going activity? By clinging only to self-attentiveness.
In any form, like having a desire, a judgment about some other people, in any way that it can
that is
can go outwards.
Attending to anything other than ourselves,
right.
Any thought, any feeling, whatever it may be,
exactly.
is nourishing ego and allowing it to rise further. If we want to curb the rising of ego, if we want to keep the ego in check, we need to hold fast to ourselves. The more keenly we attend to ourselves, the less scope there is for ego to rise.
And as it says in the other question, is there a difference in the how powerful that might be with regards to the experience you might be having? For example, if I don't know, you just have a small desire, it's not relatively irrelevant, or you face a challenge, and if you can be self-attentive at that moment, is potentially more effective. Or
that is the power that drives self-attentiveness is love. So ultimately, all we require is love. But in life, so long as we allow our mind to go outwards, we face challenges. And sometimes when we face challenges, so long as we give reality to those challenges, we allow our mind to go out to face these challenges. And we consequently are not keeping a check on ego. To the extent that we are self-attentive, we are thereby keeping a check on ego, preventing it going out to concern itself with these challenges. Yes, but so long as we look outwards, there are no end to challenges in life. But if we are wise, we should take these challenges to be a motivation to turn within. But for many people, the challenges are a motivation to turn outwards. So we can't say, but the challenge is, it's how we respond to the challenges that's important. Do we respond to the challenges by allowing our mind to go outwards to dwell on all the difficulties we are facing? Or do we take these challenges as reminders, but we have to go back within? Yes, it is true. That is, whatever challenges we face...
It's a response.
Yes. Whatever challenges we face, those challenges are given by Bhagavan for our own good. So our aim should be, we should take every challenge as a reminder to turn back within. Even if there are no challenges, it's still we should still take it as a reminder that we should be constantly remembering to turn back within. And we will be remembering it to the extent we have true love to know and to be what we actually are. Well, if there is love, you don't need reminder. If you're madly in love with someone, you don't need to be reminded to think of them. The thought of that person will always be coming to your mind. You'll always be feeling restless when you're not in the company of that person. We should be so madly in love with I am, but we are not. We feel like a fish out of water whenever we are not attending to I am.
As you said before, responding appropriately outwardly, but with our attention back towards ourselves.
But that is the challenges and difficulties of life. They're all given to remind us to turn back within. But we shouldn't depend upon challenges and difficulties to turn back. We should have so much love to turn back within, whether there are challenges or no challenges. Our task is to turn within.
Yeah, so that's the only adequate response. No matter what the experience is like.
Yes, and to the extent to which we are self-attentive, to that extent we are thereby curbing the rising of ego, or keeping the ego in check.
Exactly. Yeah, because as the question says, we have risen already from deep sleep. So the ego is there already.
Yes.
We just
when we haven't risen, there's no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole problem is that we have risen. We have to curb our rising. We have to keep our rising in
check. At the minimum.
And how we do so? Only by attending to I. The more we cling to self-attentiveness, the less scope there will be for ego to rise.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you gave an analogy of the rabbit who was once in the rabbit hole. I think that was
if the baby rabbit thinks it's not being watched, it'll be outside playing. But as soon as it's aware, a fox has come and is watching it, it goes back in the hole, and it peeps out from the hole. Am I being watched or not? If it's being watched, it goes back in. If it thinks the fox has gone, it comes out again. And as soon as it sees the fox is looking at it, it goes back in. So the ego is like that. The more we watch it, the more it will retreat into its source. It means it's not it, it's I. The more we watch ourselves, the more we are self-attentive, the more we will subside back into our source. When we are not self-attentive, then we bounce out with all enthusiasm.
It's as you say, love is the key.
It is, yes.
And by doing this repeatedly, it's going to grow.
Yes, exactly. Bhagavan often said, Bhakti is the mother of jnana. Without love, we cannot succeed in this.
Yeah, it's true. It's just that we want to have, we would like to have more love than what we have now at the moment, but it will come. It will come.
Yes, we have to work for it.
Yeah, exactly.
We have now cultivated over so many countless lives. We've cultivated so much love to go outwards. Now we have to reverse that. We have to change the direction of the mind. The natural direction of the mind is going outwards. We have to reverse it to go back within. It goes outwards because of its love for external phenomena, its desire.
Yeah.
It has love for them because we, due to our aviveka, our lack of discrimination, we think we get happiness from these things.
Yeah, and that belief, the whole belief that we have it, as we discussed before, that even though we don't believe it, we believe what Bhagavan says. It's not an experience. We still, based on the facts, we go outside.
At a very superficial level of our intellect, we understand, yes, there's no happiness in the external world. Happiness lies only within. But that's still very, very superficial. It's at a conceptual level. It has to become a deeply rooted conviction. It will become a deeply rooted conviction only to the extent to which our mind is purified. And our mind will be purified to the extent to which we cling fast to self-attentiveness.
Even though it's not the desire, because there are also many kinds of desires or things to want in life, of course. I mean, from being multimillionaire to have many things, or but even though if it's small things, like we don't desire too many things, like objects or things from the world, it's still there.
The very fact our mind is still going outwards means we still have desire.
Yeah, even though it's very small things, like
to attend to anything other than ourselves is we attend to other things because of our desire, because of we are seeking happiness in those things. The mind goes wherever it believes there's happiness. So as long as our mind is going away from ourselves towards anything else, we still think happiness lies out there.
Okay. Yeah, that's it's I guess with practice we will be more aware of that.
Practice. That's the only way.
Yeah, true. Because I don't know if it has it could have a role in this path or not. The fact that we attach so much importance to the things outside, would it be good to think about that? How is it that, I mean, asking yourself, how is it that I give too much importance to this thing, or
that is, if we had sufficient love to be self-attentive throughout the waking and dream states, no Sravana and Manana would be necessary. But Sravana and Manana are necessary because we don't yet have sufficient love to attend to ourselves. We have some love, but not sufficient love. So whenever we are not attending to ourselves, our mind should be dwelling on Bhagavan's teaching. Manana means thinking deeply about what Bhagavan has taught us. So we should be constantly reminding ourselves, yes, happiness doesn't lie outside. Happiness lies within. Why is my mind going out? Because I'm seeking happiness. That happiness I'm seeking is not out there, it's inside. In that way, if we do Sravana and Manana correctly, it should be constantly pushing our attention back within. So Sravana and Manana are a very great aid. They're not a substitute. No amount of Sravana and Manana can be a substitute for practice, but they support the practice. If we are doing Sravana and Manana correctly, our attention should be constantly turning back within towards ourselves. Because what are Bhagavan's teachings all about? All Bhagavan's teachings are pointing at one thing and one thing alone. Who am I? What is this I? So whichever angle we approach, it's all pointing back at the center. The center is, for heart, is I. That is what, so thinking deeply about Bhagavan's teachings is a great aid to us in our practice of turning our attention back towards ourselves.
Analyzing our experience, for example, like, I don't know, if I remember, I have an example. I remember once last year that I was hiking in the mountains, and it was very hot, and I saw a creek, and there was a pool with water, and I was very thirsty. And when I took a bath in the pool, it felt like, because I had so much desire when I saw the pool water, because my body was wishing to be in the water, and I felt it very strong, that desire. So I thought, why do I have so much intense desire to be in the water? Then when I was, after 10 minutes or so of being in the water, I came out, I walked back towards the car, and I was like, my body doesn't decide anything now. It's not.
Yes,
So
because
it's,
it's useful to think about these things deeply. That
mhm.
is why you had so much desire to have a bath in that water, because you were so hot. Being hot is not your natural condition. So you were seeking to restore your natural condition. So having a cool bath and feeling cool and refreshed, that feels more natural than being hot. So we are always seeking what is natural. But we take these bodily conditions to be natural. It's more natural to be cool than to be over hot. Or if we're in very cold weather, we relish the idea of sitting in front of a nice warm fire. So we are always trying to seek what is natural, and what is natural is in the middle, between the extremes of heat and the extremes of cold, between the extremes of hunger and the extremes of oversatiation. So like this, we're always seeking what is natural. But what actually is natural? This body itself is not natural. What is natural is only I am. So if we recognize that the embodied condition itself is unnatural, and the way to free ourselves from embodiment is to cling to self-attentiveness. So in this way, by thinking deeply, it encourages us to turn within more and more and more.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it seems so natural to be the body, of course. Now,
yes.
yeah,
Bhagavan gives the example of a headache.
the headache. Exactly.
When we have a headache, why we want to get rid of the headache? Because having a headache is unnatural for us. So we look for some means or other to relieve ourselves from this headache. We take some paracetamol or whatever it is, and when the headache subsides, we feel so much relief. We feel the mere absence of the headache gives us pleasure.
Yeah.
Because the headache was unnatural. So whatever is unnatural disturbs our natural state of equanimity and satisfaction.
Yeah.
So this body itself is unnatural. If this body were natural, it would be there in all the three states. But this body is here in waking state, dream another body is there, and in sleep there's no body at all. So this body is unnatural. What is natural, what continues through all the three states, is only I am. So that alone is our nature. Our real nature is only that fundamental awareness of our own existence, I am.
And also we could also say that hunger or mental desires. I mean, desiring anything, a mental object, like having new ideas or having new insights or anything. It's all a mental object. Yeah, it's the same kind. It's just relieving to restore the natural condition in a way. By acquiring the desire. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All pleasures, even intellectual pleasures, are still we're looking for happiness outside.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. It's we also find in thinking, mere thinking.
Outside means anything other than ourselves. Anything other than I am is outside.
Outside.
So we need to give up that inclination to go out. So even the ideas in our own mind are outside. In the sense in which Bhagavan talks about inside and outside when referring to his practice.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very subtle path, as you say.
It is a
that
subtle
distinction
path.
between the outer object.
It's actually very simple.
Yeah, exactly. Simple, but
the one thing we all know is I am. There's no one who doesn't know I am.
Mm-hmm.
This path is open to everyone, but we must have the inclination to follow it. Without the inclination,
exactly.
It's impossible. Bhagavan has offered us the key to immense wealth, infinite wealth, but we must be interested in that wealth.
Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
the wealth of infinite satisfaction, infinite love, infinite being, infinite awareness.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. It's also there are many things I told you that sounded like a relief to me. This one too is the even though we've heard the teachings and it seems to us that we are like failing to him in a way, that we've had this opportunity now and we don't seem to be taking the opportunity as we could.
Yes,
For
yes,
example,
yes.
it seems like we're
Yes,
failing in a way. We feel that
yes, yes,
I'm failing because I'm not good enough to. But that, even when you remind me of the example of the baby who is toddling and
yes,
falls and it starts,
yes,
uh, that's a very good example because it helps me
yes.
a lot to. Yeah, it's
We just have
practicing
to
and
keep on trying.
keep on trying, keep on
Yeah,
trying. Exactly,
exactly, exactly.
failing is not a problem.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
The road to success is paved with failure.
Hmm.
No one ever has succeeded in any worthwhile undertaking without failing many times.
Hmm. Yeah, true. It's the other side of success. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
what brings about.
Because someone who has never failed has never tried, and someone who has never tried will never succeed.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, we have to keep trying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How
Okay,
many
so
times that little toddler will fall over? It will get up again and continue.
mhm. Yeah, sometimes it's disappointing, but
Yes, yes,
disappointment comes and goes too.
yes, yes,
So yeah, we have to not too concerned with disappointment too, because it's
yes,
also an
yes,
object,
yes,
and
yes,
it's
exactly, exactly.
mhm,
Whatever comes and goes is an
whatever,
object.
anything. Yeah, exactly. That's a good. It was one of those good reminders